Hi, Weebs. Good evening, good morning. And yeah, just who the hell do you think we are? Welcome to For Weebs That Anime podcast. Don't believe in yourself. Believe in me. Believe in the Kamina who believes in you. Who are you guys? Oh, I'm Liam, sorry.
No, it's Kamina.
My name is Leah. Yeah.
And
I'm about to put chocolate in my mouth. I'll let you know how it is. It's from one of those mystery box chocolates.
oh god.
Well, not mystery. I don't know. What is this one? Caramel eclair.
Well, now the mystery's ruined.
Hmm.
My name's Becca, and I don't have a funny quote this week because I'm lazy.
Because
I
your
have no
drill
excuse.
is the drill that will pierce
I
the
was
heavens.
gonna say something about, like, I am the shining finger, but I can't remember
Oh,
the entire
okay.
quote.
The shining-
so
I thought about using that as my quote, but then I was
Yeah.
like, no, but Gurren Lagann's the good one. I'll just
I am the
quote
most
that.
That is
powerful.
true.
I am the shining finger. There
Yeah,
we
that
go.
was good.
Well,
Hold
hi
on.
everyone.
You guys are making me freak out.
Whoa.
I was
Huh?
supposed to watch Gurren Lagann, right?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
good.
Why are you freaking out?
Yeah, Becca was quoting the Gundam one.
Okay, but it just, something you said made it sound like you were getting it from, like you were gonna say the quote that Liam did.
Nah.
And I was just like,
Nah.
oh god, I watched the wrong show.
I don't know anything about
Well,
Gurren Lagann.
yeah, the shows were more similar than I thought they were going to be, but more on that after we hear from the
Yes.
last member.
Hi.
Or
I'm
last
still
but not
here.
least.
Sorry.
It's okay. Well, anyway, hi, my name is Veda, and I don't ever want to be called bro by the likes of you three.
Oh,
Stop.
well, fair enough, bruh.
Don't call me bro.
Okay, no,
Don't call me
seriously,
bruh,
I'm
bruh.
confused. So who watched Gurren Lagann?
I watched Gurren Lagann.
Liam has also watched it.
We've
Oh,
seen it
okay,
previously
right.
before.
Yeah.
Okay.
Liam cheated this week.
No, I
I've
just
done it
really,
before.
I just really wanted you guys to watch it, okay?
Yeah, no,
I
fair
just-
enough.
I'm sorry, I just totally forgot. And I was like, I
Liam?
thought I was talking to Veda this week.
You are.
Liam,
Okay.
can you help dispel the confusion and
Yes.
explain how the podcast works?
So, without further ado, it's 2017, it's a new year, but we're watching some old stuff for now, but we'll talk about new stuff later, don't worry. So,
Get there.
the theme for this week
Now,
was...
how does the podcast work, bruh?
We watched some anime. There's a good one and a bad one. It's decided with marbles. I'll explain more later.
Okay, fair
I mean,
enough.
that's the gist of it, right? So the
we
theme
talked
this
about-
week was loud, screamy, testosterone mech shows, I guess.
Yep.
I gave them the choice last week between cyberpunk and testosterone, and they chose testosterone.
Who would have?
Obviously.
There's a lot of estrogen around here.
Speaking
we
of
had to balance
something...
Yeah.
Speaking of something that isn't testosterone, but people with it will enjoy it, I've finished Keijo. More on that next episode.
Mm.
But,
it
ass to ass. Anyways.
Oh, God.
Pity typhoon.
So the good anime this week is Tengan Toppa Gurren Lagann, watched by Leah and Veda. It's a very well-known anime from 2007 by Studio Gainax, and yeah, we were bound to do it one day, so I'm glad I got to do it on my pick. It's a very enjoyable show. I like it a lot. I finished it this fall, and kind of thinking about it again this week makes me want to start rewatching it. It has been a while since I watched the first bit of it, because I started it maybe probably last year, and then it took me 6-8 months to finish it.
It happens.
Yeah. And then the bad anime I got from a My Anime List recommendation. It's called Mobile Fighter G Gundam. And I do have some mixed feelings about, because we've done the last Gundam show we did was a bad one, and then this one is also a quote-unquote bad one, but
Someday
don't worry.
one of us will pick a Gundam as the good show.
Don't worry.
We're sorry, all you Gundam
Weebs,
fans.
you Gundam fans out there, one day we'll pick one of the good ones. We don't hate, I don't hate Gundam.
Just because we
But-
pick it as the quote-unquote bad anime doesn't necessarily mean it's actually bad.
True.
I mean, we
It's
had
all
this
true.
issue with
interpretation.
Natalia, where a lot of people, at least one person, like, crawled up our butts about Hetalia not being bad, and it was like, bruh, did you even listen to the episode?
Although, in all fairness, we didn't like it. But...
I didn't mind it. Anyway, sorry, Liam. Starting up.
Opinions.
Mm-hmm.
Subjectivity.
Okay.
So, I am eager to hear your guys' thoughts on Gurren Lagann, because I've been waiting to pick it for a while, so I want to do that one first. Let me throw a synopsis out to the listeners. Sorry, I just had a lot of candy. I feel like sugar
You feel the
rush
sugar?
right now.
Buzzed.
I ate a bunch of jalapeno popcorn,
Oh gosh.
then had some beer, and then I had some candy. So
Washed it down with some M&Ms.
just a proper weed diet, or weeb diet there.
I don't know.
I guess that could also be a weed diet, and you think of it.
Yeah,
what do you
that's
think
true.
about it? Yep.
Legalize it.
Although,
Okay.
blaze it after you drink it. It's safer that way.
You heard it here first.
Uh-huh.
weebs. Well, we can't afford drugs. We've got too much anime merch to buy.
Oh my god, I was at HMV today. It's so expensive still.
It always is. It's not as expensive as it is in Japan.
Really? I would think it would be
Dude.
cheaper there. Oh no, because they totally like pimp their shit out though too.
Oh yeah, they have like way cooler stuff, but it is
Yeah.
more expensive.
The North
Yeah.
Hill HMV has the biggest anime selection, and it's always cheaper because it's on sale.
They just
got-
redid.
I've got bad
Just saying.
news for you, Leah.
Is it gone?
Yeah, it's gone.
Fuck!
They closed over the summer.
They
Damn it.
just. If it makes you feel better though, Leah, they just redid the one in Chinook,
Uh-huh.
and the anime
But
section
Chinook.
is 8 feet wide and
Ooh,
like
nice.
6 feet tall. Although
But
there's a
Chinook.
fuck ton of Inuyasha, like it's literally one shelf of Inuyasha.
It's all like Inuyasha and Dragon Ball Z
and Naruto
Yeah.
and what's
Anyway.
the other one? Anyway, let's get on to
I
We're
feel
gonna
like
go-
our
can we
attention
figure out
spans are very small today. Sorry, listeners. Just
like
note this
Gurren
now.
Lagann.
There's lots of sugar
Anyways.
floating around.
Gurren Lagann.
I'm drinking wine.
How
Oh,
come the
do you?
HMVs don't have no Gurren Lagann? What up with that? North America, huh?
Gotta order it on Amazon.
I haven't even looked, but I just kind of know, or I have a guess that it's like as expensive as all the other animes I want to buy, which
totally
is
gonna
too
go look.
expensive.
I was
Yeah,
just
go-
saying,
I
I
was
will
just
look it
about
up
to go.
right
Yeah,
now
I'll
while
find
you
out
give
for
us
you,
the
Liam. Tell us the
synopsis, Liam.
synopsis.
Go, yeah,
Yes.
go talk.
Okay.
What Leah said.
I'm just gonna guess before you tell me. I'm gonna guess that it's
I
like
have it.
a volume.
51?
A volume with like 5 episodes is like $60.
Oh, hold on. I actually only had it up for one of the, not for the whole
I
series.
got you.
Tell me
No,
after I read the
sir.
synopsis.
Read the synopsis, then I'll tell you.
Simon and Kavanaugh were born and raised
Yeah.
in a deep underground village hidden from the fabled surface. Kamina is a free-spirited loose cannon bent on making a name for himself, while Simone is a timid young boy with no real aspirations. One day, while excavating the earth, Simone stumbles upon a mysterious object that turns out to be the ignition key to an ancient artifact of war, which the duo dubbed Lagann. Using their new weapons, Simone and Kamina fend off a surprise attack from the surface with the help of Yoko Littner, a hot-blooded redhead wielding a massive gun who wanders the world above. In the aftermath of the battle, the sky is now in plain view, prompting Simon and Kamina to set off on a journey alongside Yoko to explore the wastelands of the surface. Soon they join the fight against the Beastmen, humanoid creatures that terrorize the remnants of humanity and powerful robots called gunmen. Although they face some challenges and setbacks, the trio bravely fights these new enemies alongside other survivors to reclaim the surface, while slowly unraveling a galaxy-sized mystery. I heard some weird slurping noises in the background
It was
as
a,
I
like,
was...
holy shit sound.
Alright. So
Is it really
How
expensive?
expensive it is.
What
Oh,
again?
God.
Well, I don't know. I've got one here that Liam, what
Wait.
was your guess again?
Well, my guess was like for a DVD with like, or a Blu-ray with 4 episodes on it, like one volume was gonna be like $60.
Do they have the Blu-rays?
So, okay, correct me if I'm wrong, Leah, but
Mhm.
looking on my Amazon, there is like a volume 1 that's $19.
Yes.
There's
Now-
also a Gurren Lagann The Complete Collection Anime Legend
Yes.
version that is $239.99.
Yes.
However,
Hot damn.
we also have the Gurren Lagann Complete Blu-ray edition
Hmm.
for drum roll, 76.28. But there's only 2 in stock, and I'm not sure if that's through Amazon or some other person
Sketchy.
that's selling you a stolen version.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, you're always rolling the dice. That's cheap. Well, even the 231 is cheaper than I was expecting, but I guess I'm still in shock from like the Kill la Kill prices and the Evangelion prices, which are probably
the
pretty.
Evangelion
The
prices
Evangelion
are insane.
ones are just
Why?
like,
What's Evangelion?
Fuck.
4?
well, it's like
About that?
End of Evangelion isn't in print anymore, so a DVD is like $1,000 or something.
Yeah. And then, like, they released in Japan, I think, they released Blu-rays for the show.
I'm
And
sure
those are about 400.
That was such a popular show. Like, it's so popular. I would expect at some point they'll re-release it, like what they're doing with everything else that was quite popular.
Oh, they will. I
Yeah.
mean, like, in Japan, like, the DVD, like, they've got the Blu-rays right now, but
Yeah.
they're fucking expensive.
Well, I'm probably pimped to shit, right?
Probably.
Yeah.
I'll just buy some when I go to Japan with my trusty camera, Fuji-san.
Fuji-san. Do you guys want to talk about the anime
Yes,
for
I
a
do
bit?
want to talk about
Yes.
Get it?
Yeah.
Initial impressions, go.
it. Do you want to go first, Veda? Do you want...
Sure. I'll go first. So I'll start off with a little history. I've had this anime on my list probably since I started watching anime, which is like back in 2008. I put it on and I have never gotten around to it. It's like 10 years old now, and I'm just like, I'm ashamed that it's taken me this long to watch this freaking show. I know like a little bit about it, like going into it. I knew like a couple things about the show beforehand. But my first impressions of the show was that like, I really like it. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll just start with that. I like mechs. I like things battling each other. I'm a big shonen person, so none of that kind of stuff bothers me.
Yeah, this show's pretty into that.
Yeah, it is. And like, there's like cool mech battles, and I'm like, yay, people beating each other into rocks and stuff. That's fun.
But it's like, it's done in that Studio Trigger way.
Oh, it
I guess-
looks like as soon as it starts, you're like, oh, this is so Trigger.
That's
like,
what-
everybody moves in like these like incredibly energetic ways, and it's just like, I love it. I love the animation in this show. I'll just say that.
That's what my initial thought basically was just I would like turn it on and was like, is this a Trigger anime?
Oh,
Well,
I was gonna
fun
say
fact,
it too.
So this was Studio Gainax, but then after they finished this show, it's a bunch of the main people for Gurren Lagann left Studio Gainax and started Studio Trigger.
You can really tell.
Yeah. So
yeah,
the first full length anime they made after Gurren Lagann was Kill la Kill. So
Perfect.
that's one of the reasons why I like Gurren Lagann so much, I guess.
Yeah. I was gonna say, even watching the show, knowing it came out in 2007, you could have come up to me and told me this came out like maybe like 2 or 3 years ago, and I probably would have bought it had I not known any better.
Oh, me too. Simply because of like
the quality,
like the stylistic choice they've went with it. Like
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and just the
Which is
quality
kind of-
and like animation and the way everything's drawn. It looks great. Like
yeah,
still.
and it's a style you're seeing a lot right now, so it
Mhm.
actually just kind of holds up really
yeah,
well.
that's true.
Trendsetters?
Mhm.
So glad
Yeah.
you liked it.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's good. So
Yeah. No, initially for me it was the whole this looks like a Trigger anime.
Mhm.
And then I didn't really know anything about it going into it, and
Mhm.
I do like mecha anime too. I do find some of them can be like a hit or a miss.
yeah, that's true.
But I like how they like add comedy into this, but it's
Me
not
too.
like too much.
It's not in your face. It's
No.
like they set up jokes. There's setup and payoff for jokes, and it's not just like boobs. That's a joke. Haha, laugh at it.
It's
you know?
like it sounds really cheesy, but just, the show just has like a lot of heart, and you
Yeah.
can tell. Like
Yeah.
I like it.
there was effort put into the show,
Mhm.
and it shows.
And it's
That
kind of
makes sense.
in like an interesting
Premise?
concept. It's kind of like dystopian, but not at the same time. Like
Yeah, that's
I don't
true.
know, it's cool.
It's like a future, like a different kind of future timeline in a way.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
I was gonna ask Veda, what did you know about it, like going into?
Like, well, I knew kind of like I didn't know the premise so much, but I know a couple plot points that I won't mention.
So, like what happens halfway through the show.
Yes, I do. I was
Yeah.
spoiled for that like eons ago. Like before I even knew about the show, I was spoiled for that. So
Yeah,
What
I was,
happens?
I
I'm
was
not
able
gonna tell you.
Sorry.
Fuck you, tell me.
No, fuck
No,
you.
I don't want to know.
I'm not
God
ruining
damn
it for
it.
other people for you, Becca.
Oh,
One
we haven't
question,
ruined shit
like,
before.
I kind of had, and this kind of comes in with, like, Kill la Kill and these kind of shows in general, too, is, like, they're technically shonen, that sort of thing, lots of action and all that, but, and even with mecha anime, too, sometimes it's hard to know what the show's actually going to end up with a storyline or not. But what's nice about this show is it seems like, even based off of, like, the first 3 episodes, that they're gonna actually bother putting
starting
plot,
something.
basically.
Yeah.
It's not just gonna be like battle after battle. I mean, and I don't know how Kill la Kill ends up. I don't know if
Kill la Kill's a really good ending too.
Yeah.
Digibro has a good video that like kind of compares the story, how the stories are written of Kill la Kill and Gurren Lagann, because the two shows get compared a lot.
Oh yeah.
But he likens Gurren Lagann's storytelling to the analogy of the drill that's like in the show, and like the spiral, like the story just keeps going up and up and up like a spiral, and it just gets like more epic and more epic and more epic until you hit episode 27 and you're like, oh fuck, dude. Yeah.
Oh no.
Whereas Kill la Kill's story is like just told in a different way. It's less of like a hero's journey and more about duality.
Okay.
Thanks for that info, Digibro.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, I really like the design of the mechs. I like how they're different from like general mech shows, you know?
They're kind of like, cute, actually.
Yeah, they are. They're like these weird like little faces with limbs. I love it. I don't know. It's different.
Like,
and I'm like, they don't all look like a Gundam.
And it's not just the like humanoid look with the gun. They're like they look like kind of like weird geometric like they call them monsters, and it's kind of an accurate name for them.
They kind of look like masks, like monster masks or something.
Do they look like chibis? I'm confused.
No. Like imagine like a robot face, like an Oni
it's
mask,
like a big,
maybe?
Yeah, a big
like a tiki mask almost.
A big demon, a big demon or beast head with like arms and legs.
Little stumpy arms and legs.
I just heard
like,
little face, tiny legs, and I was like, chibis?
No.
They're still,
it's actually
like,
quite
huge.
hard to explain.
It is, but I like it.
Me too.
They're kind of on the same scale as like the Avas are, maybe a little bit smaller. Like they're like taller than some buildings.
It's like it's one of those things where they're actually like they're not small at all, but when you put them next to each other and that's the only thing in the screen, given the shapes that they are, because they're more like bigger, rounder shapes than tall and thin, it kind of you feel like they're really small, but they're not.
Okay.
Cool.
Should we talk a bit more about just like the structure of the first 3 episodes? Because it's been a while since I've seen.
Sure. So the whole story starts out, and you're following. Is it Simon or Simone?
It makes me angry because like it makes sense that they say Simone because like Japanese, you have more of like C sound, but I just like I watched one episode in the sub. And it's I kept reading it as Simon.
I
went and watched the dub, I don't know, it was just driving me a little bit crazy. Or like one of those things where it's like when Japanese people say it sounds right, and then the English people say it, and it's kind of just disjointed.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you're following Simon, and he's like talking about how he lives, and they have not everybody. They have these people who drill. They all live underground, and they're like drilling to make more room for the people to live underground. And he's one of the drillers. And you follow him, and he finds this like little drill necklace thing, and he's like, "Oh, what's that? I don't know." And then he goes out and I can't remember what happened, but he's just he's
just like walking around, sad about his life. And these girls are like
describing. I'm really sorry.
Making fun of him and stuff like that, and he's walking off all pouty. And then all of a sudden, this other guy comes up, and it's just like, "Cheer up, buddy! Like, call me bro. We're gonna get out of here.
We're like soul brothers.
Yeah, we're soul brothers or whatever." And all of a sudden, he literally is like picking up this kid and like
They're
dragging
bros
him
now.
to like meet with these other guys who he's like in cahoots with, and they're basically like, next thing you know, they have a bunch of moles, like giant moles that are like building an ant ladder almost to try and like get them out to the surface.
That was one thing, like, the way they kind of live did remind me of ants, because they're all, like, underground, and they're, like, drilling everywhere. I'm like, oh, they're, like, little ant humans. I don't know.
But yeah. Anyway, their escape is stopped, or whatever. Someone, like, knocks over the mole tower. Yeah.
The chief of the people.
Yeah.
And he gets all mad at them, and then he, like, puts them in irons, and he's like, you don't get to eat dinner, and then the other guys are like, well, look, or you don't get to eat dinner unless you confess, or something like that. And so, like, the other guys that were with Kamina, like, that were in cahoots with him, they're like, oh, well, screw that, we want dinner. So they just kind of give up. And he's like, I'm not giving up because it's Kamina. And he's, like, the manliest of men. And he's like, I'm gonna stand by my decision, I'm not giving up. And, like, and then an earthquake happens. And everyone, like, panics and freaks out. And Kamina's like, I'm not moving, I'm not scared of the earthquake. And, like, Simone's kind of, like, scared, and then he has this flashback, and you kind of realize that, oh, his parents died in an earthquake, so he's, like, kind of panicking. But Kamina's, like, not moving, so they're both just sort of standing there. And then it's over, and then, like, they get mad at the chief, and they lock Kamina up. But they don't lock Simone up because he's important to the town. Whatever. Anyway, so it goes to, like, later on, and, like, because
I'm sorry, I was
has
gonna say, just disclosure is, the reason the chief is so mad at them for escaping is because they basically tell everyone, like, the surface doesn't exist, like, underground is the world.
Right, I probably should've
it's kind of like City of Ember.
Okay.
Excellent references.
But yeah. So Simone has this, like, his little drill that he uses to drill tunnels, and he ends up, like, finding this space, as he's drilling, and he's like, oh, what the hell is that? And, like, into Kamina's cell where he's being held. And he's like, hey, I need to show you this thing that I found underground. And he's like, okay, well, this is technically a jailbreak, but okay, whatever. So they're, like, walking around. They're walking outside. Everybody's asleep, so no one's there. And then the chief shows up, and he's all like, what the hell are you doing? Why are you out? You bad children. And then another earthquake happens, kind of thing. And, like, does it break through the ceiling?
I think
it was
basically. I mean, at this point, it doesn't really matter. They end up on the surface. Like,
yeah. Well, like no, it's not that head comes down through the top, and it starts, like, talking.
Attack on Titaning?
No, it's like this weird. I don't even know. It's like, is that
it's
one
it's
of the
the mech
robots? I
piloted
couldn't really
by the...
tell.
I think it's like a minotaur head.
It was like a giant. Yeah, it is. That's what it is.
Yeah.
It, like, they start attacking it because it's, like, attacking them. There's, like, a hole in the ceiling now, and they're all like, all the people are like, ah, what the fuck? And Kamina's like, I'm gonna fight it. And they're like, what are you doing? You're stupid. And then, like, yeah, right? And, so he starts kind of fighting it, and then this girl shows up with a giant sniper rifle.
And giant
like,
boobs.
And giant boobs, and, like, the tiniest outfit in the world. Like, the tiniest little bikini top and the tiniest little booty shorts you've ever seen.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, oh, girl. she starts shooting the giant minotaur head, and she's like, get down, you know, she's trying to tell them what to do. And he's at first Kamina's all like, oh, surface people, and then she, like, describes that she's actually from another tunnel area.
Oh, no,
like,
he didn't go, oh, surface people. He went, oh, hello, beautiful woman. Like, totally, like, objectifying her and being like, you know,
well, they
like,
do that,
what's
like,
your
hand
name?
shot,
blah blah blah, and then he finds out that she's not from the surface, she's from, like, another underground town, and he, like, automatically, like, loses interest.
He's like, I don't know anymore, and he starts, like, calling her, like, names and stuff like that.
So shallow.
Can we talk about, just side thing, can we talk about Kamina's sunglasses for a second?
Yes.
What about them?
He's got the, like... Oh, I'm trying to think of a good reference for these.
They're pointy. I
You
can't
think-
even describe it.
Yeah!
Yes!
Except they point out, like, a foot out.
Like, you could
I didn't even
murder
watch
someone with
the show,
those
guys.
sunglasses.
Which is
I know
funny, you know, I didn't even really think about it until, like, after they got on the surface and he put his sunglasses back on, as to, like, why did he
was
even
he
have
wearing
those in
them?
the first place?
When he
But then it
showed
kinda
up,
ties
he was
into
wearing
later,
them.
but-
And I was like,
Yeah.
why are you wearing those? You're underground.
Fashion
Where did
is
he even
above
get them?
utility.
Well,
True
I'm kind
that.
of thinking maybe there's something to do with his dad. But we can get to that after.
maybe.
But
I know
was
you
just gonna
can you can order his sunglasses for like $30 off Amazon.
Ooh.
I might need those.
Yeah, just drive around wearing those.
You would look
some
so
people
hot.
would get it. I was just gonna say, I'd like if we could actually just talk about the characters in general for a moment.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, I
probably
just
more
really
productive.
liked them all. Like, it
Me
was
too.
kind of...
I was gonna say, sorry,
Like-
can I just like
Yeah,
one thing? I think it's like actually impossible to hate Kamina. Just
I know.
I'm gonna put
Like-
that out there.
I
'Cause
love
he's
him.
so pure.
I fucking love him.
Well, everyone in the show, like, it's very rare to like every single character.
Mm-hmm.
And especially when, this sounds awful, when you kind of look at their, not that any of them are stereotypical, but if you were to describe the three of them, they sound like all the characters I would hate.
They sound kind of
The young boy, the chauvinistic, like, I'm the best guy,
the cocky one,
and then, this sounds bad, almost any female character ever.
the tits.
With tits, you know
Mhm.
what I mean?
Basically, the fan service, and you're like,
But they're
God.
all awesome.
They're
and, like,
all
it's,
really cool.
I kind of like that they're giving you 2 to 3, like the girl maybe not as much as the 2 guys, but they're giving you that many main characters,
Mm-hmm.
and they're like taking the time to like develop
That's
them
true.
both or all 3 of them. You know what I mean? Like I don't know, it's kind of just
Yeah. Well, no,
refreshing.
even in
Yeah.
the first 3 episodes, they each have like moments where they shine a bit, and so you get kind of like a feel for everybody, like a little bit at first. So you're like, oh, I kind of like this character. Oh, I kind of
Mhm.
like this character too, and like you don't hate anybody at first. Like at least I didn't.
No.
So,
Oh my god,
like,
the
no.
gay guy though.
Oh god. I
Oh,
don't even,
the
what
gay
was his
mechanic.
name? Yeah.
Oh, I love him
That was,
so much.
Yeah, Gurren. Yeah, I think they kind of do that on purpose. So, like, I think, well, some people described it as like the shows are kind of reclaiming the stereotypes or tropes and just like making them work again. Or
Yeah.
Which
stuff.
is
I
basically
could see that.
what they've done,
done.
and obviously done it well because none of them felt like a stereotype. But then, as I'm just sitting here telling you guys about how I like them all, that's when I kind of stopped and realized that on paper they're, you know, all
I
those
think
characters you've seen, and
Yeah, it is.
I
though.
often
I think
dislike-
it's like that shows that the show has like decent writing, at least like right now anyway.
Mhm.
Where it's like they have these characters who are basically characters you've seen many, many times before in other animes, but they've written them so like, and they've written the plot around them so well. Like, I know this is the first 3 episodes and I'm getting ahead of myself, but that you're like invested in them already and you're interested in these characters.
Oh,
even
definitely.
Even though you already know like their stereotypes.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, I don't know, it's well done.
Well, and they
Um,
have the mystery of the world, like, just to
Mhm.
basically surmise the last 2 episodes, so we can just
Sorry, I know I
talk
took
about
forever.
more important things. No, it's fine. It's just so they get on the surface, and the next 2 episodes, you know, they're kind of like fighting mechs, and they find out people don't really live on the surface anymore, and those monster mechs like attack every day, that sort of thing.
Yeah, they find like Yuko's village or whatever.
Mhm. But it's just interesting because it's like, well, you want to know like what happened to the world.
Yeah.
What are these mechs?
It creates that
Um,
intrigue.
Yeah, exactly. That sort of
Mhm.
thing.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then like the
Uh,
3rd episode basically just ends with like, you know, the call to adventure where they figure out where the evil mech's base is and they're like, "Oh, we're going to go find it and destroy it."
Mhm.
You know? But they can't send like an entire village, so they just send, you know, the main characters.
the 3rd episode, is that where you get to see the actual like Gurren Lagann?
Yes.
Mhm.
Because
I
it's been a while.
I
since-
finally
need to go
understood the
rewatch
title
that.
after that.
Yeah.
Well, no, I actually think they touch on that in the 2nd episode, don't they?
The
'Cause-
title?
Well, they in the second
Simon
episode they like
Starts
claim.
piloting his, and he calls it Lagann. And then I think it's the 3rd episode where Kamina starts piloting his and then calls it Gurren.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, they defeat one of the Beastmen and then they repurpose his gunman
Mm-hmm.
and then they
yeah.
call it the Gurren. What did you think of like when they actually combine? Because like when I saw that, I was like, oh my god, that's like the perfect amount of dumb
I
but
I actually
entertaining.
burst out laughing when it happened.
For those of you who don't know, the Lagann is like a small head with like arms and legs. It's like no taller than a human. So that's like the chibi robot Becca was maybe thinking about.
Hibbies.
And then so like it like shoots up into the air, its arms and legs retract and a big drill shoots out of the bottom and it basically like drills into the head of the Gurren
Well,
Which
Kamina's like, he just sort of like screams. He's like, "We're gonna combine!" And then he like
Yeah.
grabs it and like shoves it into the like top of his mech. And I was just like, that was freaking hilarious.
Oh yeah, I forgot
then,
it happened like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
And
like
then
we're
on
gonna
top of that-
combine.
Yeah.
And
then on top of that,
yeah.
instead of just like fucking up his mech, it actually combines. And I was like, that just made this 1,000 times better. Good job, show.
Yeah, and Simon's like, "What do you mean you're gonna combine?" And he just like
Yep.
forcibly shoves the head onto the mech with no head, and it just works.
That was great.
I totally
Yeah.
just walked into the conversation at the wrong time. Sorry.
But yeah, I was gonna say like that was part of like there were a couple jokes in the show where I actually like laughed out loud, like surprised. I was like, oh, that was funny. I don't know why that surprises me, but I
Are
don't.
you suggesting anime isn't funny, Veda?
A lot of the times when I watch
Not
it, I don't
actually-
laugh.
You
Yeah.
actually laugh, like it's enjoyable,
you
but
just
it's
sort of,
rare
like,
that you
haha.
actually like.
You
Laugh
actually like,
out loud at
legitimately
something?
laugh.
Yeah.
And it was like
Mhm.
an actual laugh where I was like, that was funny, instead of, being like, haha, that's funny in theory. But I
In
do
your
But
laugh.
head,
it's like
you're like,
genuine,
I'm
and it wasn't
amused.
like ridiculous. I mean, it was ridiculous, but I
Yeah.
mean, it's not like it's like they actually still put a bit of thought into their humor a little bit.
Yes,
Mhm.
yes, it's
They
smart.
weren't just like trying to be stupid the whole time.
It's smart, but it's like really out there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like it. I really like it.
I like
I
things
really
like
hope
that.
you
Smart.
keep watching, because like the ridiculousness of like one mech drilling into another mech to combine goes like times 1,000 as you go throughout the show. It gets pretty.
Oh my god,
It gets pretty ridiculous.
I can't wait.
I'm gonna keep watching it,
Me
and I'm actually
too.
really surprised. Like the show has always been, on my list, I
Yeah.
guess.
Mhm.
But I was always hesitant because I'm like,
What
okay,
if
I
it
like
sucks?
mechs, but then like, or like based off, honestly, actually kind of was the animation that kind of made me not watch it, even though it's really good. It just, I don't know, I was expecting it to be really like goofy and stupid, basically,
I kind
And,
of
like-
feel that, yeah.
and like really shonen and that sort of thing. So I kind of just never really gave it a try. But now I'm glad that I did.
Me too.
Yeah, I was
I'd say
expecting Veda to like get pretty into it. 'Cause I
Yeah.
knew that would be on your list for a while. Leah was like, you were kind of the wild card. I wasn't sure whether you're gonna keep watching or not.
Yeah.
Oh,
No, I
I'm
think I
glad you
definitely
did.
will.
No, I totally got into it. So like, I'm gonna keep watching. It's on Netflix, so it's super easy for me to keep watching. The animation is so pretty. I could just stare at it all day. There's some scenes where it was
Especially
like
that shot in the first episode where they shoot up into the air and see the sky for the first time, and they just
Oh,
have
that
like
was
moon and the stars and everything after.
yeah, they have
And, like,
like
the
this
moon.
really pretty landscape.
Mhm.
Actually, I was gonna say, I wrote the thing about that comment. The lighting in this show, I don't know what it is, but like, especially in the first episode, they have all these like
I
lighting
know.
changes,
when
and
they're
they
like
look
underground and stuff.
Yeah.
Like you just
They-
get like a really good
like it's all blue lit, and everything's kind of like dim, and you're like,
you get that
"Ooh,
vibe
underground."
of what it's actually like.
Mhm. And then when like it breaks through, it's like all this yellow light like invades all the blue, and you're like, whoa, kind of like you're like, oh, that's really different. Everything looks different now. But then I noticed like it sounds weird to talk about lighting in an anime, but
No,
when
it
they
makes
shoot
a
up,
huge difference.
yeah, when they shoot up out of the ground, it seems this probably no one else noticed, but they're spinning around as they're like falling kind of thing,
Mhm.
and the
Mhm.
light, they show a shot of like all three of their faces, and the lighting is just like dynamically going across them
Yeah.
as they spin, right?
Yeah,
And I was
remember
like, that looked really good.
Details.
And then like the dynamic lighting is just, you never get that in anime. It's usually just like, one shot where it pans. It's not like, we did a full 360 with this lighting, haha. I don't know.
Take that.
I was really impressed by it. It was really dynamic. I don't know. It's just like those little details that make the whole world seem bigger in a way.
Mhm. No, I
Yeah.
totally agree.
But yeah, anyway, so
Mhm.
I'm definitely gonna keep watching.
Yeah,
I'm
me too.
excited.
Me too.
Yay!
Yatta!
Really good.
Yatta!
I did it.
Good
Okay,
job,
now
Leah.
binge
Good
it so
job.
we can talk about like everything that happens after episode 13 and then the
Oh.
ending and shit. Okay.
Okay.
Isn't there like 27 episodes?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
27
It's
episodes of
bingeable,
greatness.
Anyway.
I
Oh,
like
it
when
will.
I
Yeah.
actually find an anime I really like, and it is that 25, 27 episodes. I'm like,
'Cause
oh,
then
thank
you-
God.
Yeah, you
You
have
actually
like
feel
time.
satisfied.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
One small fun fact / warning: the episode 4, they get like there's a different episode director for it. I think it's episode 4. Like episode 4 is like kind of more. It's like that Trigger kind of cartoony style, like dialed up a bit. So like episode 4 is a lot different than all the other episodes.
So don't stop.
Yeah, like don't get turned off by episode 4. Like some people like it, some people don't. It's just like different from a lot of the other episodes.
Okay.
And it's a fun fact because the same thing happened with Kill la Kill, the 4th episode of Kill la Kill. Like the animation gets just like way different and a lot more like.
Because they just like ease people into it, and they're like, okay, now
once you're trapped,
they just go full throttle.
Yeah, but then like right after episode 4, it goes back to normal. So I think like that same random guy that directs is like, hey, do you want to come do the 4th episode of something again? Sure.
Why the 4th?
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe it's like AMC and their director thing. I don't know.
Gotta look into it more, I guess.
It's always fun to give lots of people.
Though.
It's always fun to give people the chance to express their creativeness.
Yeah, I know, like, with House of Cards, like the first season of House of Cards, a lot of the episodes were directed by David Fincher, but then, like, the later episodes, not as many. And then, like, Game of Thrones as well, the directors on those episodes switch a lot.
Well, they have a huge impact on that show, too. But, yeah, definitely.
So do you want to talk about a mediocre mech anime, Becca?
I guess so. I guess I should talk at some point this episode.
I mean, that's usually what I do. I'm just like, my turn.
Well, any longtime listeners know I'm not really a big mech person, so this episode was not made for me.
I mean, in an ideal world, all 3 of you could have watched Gurren Lagann, but
I definitely
sometimes we gotta play by our own rules.
It has also been kind of on my list. It's been on my radar. I just have never really had a reason to watch it.
I think it's worth giving it a shot. Like with you, Becca, like I'm not sure. I'm sure you'll at least like it. I'm not sure if it'll be something you like.
It's probably
go the whole way on, but
it's probably like getting through that like 3 or 4 episode slump and getting hooked in. Because once I'm hooked in, I usually go pretty hard, but...
I think with Gurren Lagann and... Well, because you got to, like, episode 8 on Kill la Kill or something.
Yeah,
right?
And I do intend to go back to Kill la Kill.
I would almost finish Kill la Kill first. Yeah. Finish Kill la Kill and Gurren Lagann, maybe.
Resolution for 2017 is watch more anime. So...
Yeah, that's my resolution, too. That's actually my resolution.
I like it.
I don't know. I think with Gurren Lagann and Kill la Kill is less of like that 3-4 episode hump. It's more like I got through the first 3 episodes really fast, and then it's like maybe the like episode 4 to 7 hump.
Okay.
And then once you get past that, then that's the point where you're like binging it.
Yeah, 'cause I can't even remember why I stopped Kill la Kill. Besides, like, maybe I got distracted by another show or something, and like...
I think, what I remember you saying was, it was like... Yeah, you wanted something to watch that was in English.
Yes.
And like there is a dub of Kill la Kill, but it's not on Netflix as far as I know.
Well, it's not very good.
Yeah, I'm pretty biased towards the Japanese one, but you know, when you gotta do a dub, you gotta do a dub.
Well, when you want to sell it to North America, you gotta make it English, because there's lazy fuckers like me, right?
Rub-a-dub-dub.
Tell us about the bad anime.
Tell me what I watched again, because I...
Mobile Fighter G Gundam. Apparently this is the 5th Gundam show.
I was wondering where it falls in the Gundam chronology of just releases.
Yeah, in terms of releases, I think it's the 5th one. This one, as far as I know, it's like standalone in terms of like Gundam lore. Yeah, and I'm sure there's a lot of the Gundam shows are standalone, or like there's a few different universes, but
yeah, no,
I need to consult a Gundam expert for that.
Oh, we need a Gundam expert.
I know a few, but that's for another episode, I guess.
Anyway, tell me what I watched. What's it about?
In the year FC60, much of mankind inhabits space colonies which orbit the Earth. Dominance over the colonies is decided once every 4 years by a large tournament in which each nation sends a single representative to fight the others with a giant robot called a Gundam. Domon Kashu is selected to represent Neo Japan in one of these tournaments, but he fights less to ensure his nation's victory more than to find his brother, who has been blamed for the deaths of Domon's parents.
Oh man, spoiler alert, they never say that.
Yeah, I mean,
God damn.
more on that in a second. And the
That's
disappearance
Mao.
of a very dangerous weapon, the Dark Gundam or Devil Gundam.
Yeah.
So, my initial thoughts on this show were that it hasn't aged that well, but it is from 1994. And that it seems like they just wanted to have, like, a Gundam fight. Like, they wanted to have a show where Gundams, like, punched each other in, like, cities. And then they just kind of loosely wrote a plot around that. And there was more similarities between this and Gurren Lagann than I thought there was going to be. What were your impressions, Becca?
It's my turn to talk now. Do you like robots that fight and punch each other and blow up? Then this is probably the fucking vintage anime for you. It is very vintage. Not in a bad way. 94.
Oh, okay.
Yep. So it definitely looks like it's from 94, but it's not bad 94 per se.
Yeah, it's okay.
It's a different kind of Gundam for people that just want to watch the robots punch each other. That's my initial thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the dub wasn't great, but, you know, it wasn't horrible.
I actually watched the sub.
Oh.
Yep. Because I didn't find the dub. I know you sent me a link, Liam, and I kind of looked at it and I was like, but I have my preferred locations. So I watched it on GoGo Anime, subbed, and, like, it's from 94. It's okay. I really like the opening, though.
Really?
Yeah, I thought it was really well done.
Yeah, I didn't think it was amazing. I didn't think it was that bad.
No, I wouldn't say it's amazing at all. But, like, we look at Berserk from 1996 and compare the two. The song kind of fits properly with it, and they definitely edited it so that the shots worked with the song. And it's just, like, it just feels like somebody put a bit more effort into it than they really needed to, considering what this show is. But, like, that was one of my first... As I was watching it, I was like, the intro's not bad.
Yeah, I was expecting the intro to be worse. I was kind of disappointed that I didn't get anything berserked here with, like, put your glasses on. With, like, an out-of-tune guitar.
Like?
It just...
Like, was it like a pop song?
It's kind of like a poppy, rocky, I'm the most powerful, I have a shining finger song.
Okay.
Yeah, the main character's signature move was kind of weird.
Yeah, he's got shining fingers.
All of them are shiny?
Yes, because he's punching people with all of them. But they all have to be shining for her to punch them. So,
okay.
Mysterious, I don't remember anybody's names, as per usual. Mysterious main character shows up and he looks super boss and cool. And, like, here's the thing, is I don't like mechs, not a real big fan of Gundam. Sorry, everybody I know that likes Gundam. But I didn't mind watching this show.
Okay.
Like, I wasn't expecting much, so I pretty much was delivered what I expected. It's not really, like, the other Gundam shows that I'm more aware of, such as Gundam Wing, are more political. This one isn't really. Like, it feels like the politics are thrown in as an afterthought. But it wasn't bad. It's a more personal story.
I don't know, like, when I was a kid, if I would, like, see stuff like this in, like, those random import stores in the malls or, like, in random commercials when I was at a friend's house that had cable or stuff, like, the show's clearly, you know, each episode they unveiled, like, the new Gundam toy for that week.
Yeah, well,
or whatever.
It's definitely, like, the episode of the week style. Like, there's an overarching story, but that overarching story is our main character's looking for somebody who I thought was his dad, but now I find out is his brother.
Yeah, that was news to me as well.
Yeah, I was like, it's obviously his dad, for fuck's sakes, where is he? And now you tell me it's his brother, and I'm like, oh, well, shit.
You can tell the show's for a pretty, like, younger audience, because, like, they're taking the plot real slow. It's like, the first episode, he fights the Italian guy.
I just thought that it's an episodic show. I didn't really think it was for younger maybe younger adults or
this
teenagers, but
like this is a show. If I was a boy when this came out, like a young boy, I would
you would have been all over
devoured this shit.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
I would have seen Evangelion and been like, this show's boring. I am 10. I am a piece of shit.
No.
My opinions are based on how shiny it is in this moment. Yeah,
And his fingers are very shiny.
And I guess I can see that. I guess, like, the reason why I'm hesitant to say that it's specifically for kids is because there's definitely a couple, like, swear words dropped, and...
Oh, I forgot.
But,
where were there swear
like, not
words?
really anything bad, and maybe it was the sub I was watching, but there's definitely at least a couple asses, and... Oh, fuck, what's the one they always say? Oh, this isn't a swear, but they keep referring to Earth as filthy. Filthy Earth, where all the filthy people live.
That's pretty normal. And, I mean, I think they did that in Sailor Moon, too.
Well, did they? It just seems...
Probably like filthy humans, or I don't know.
Oh no, not filthy humans, specifically filthy Earth. Like, the Earth as a globe is filthy, why would you want to live there? And it's because humans have fucked shit up, and now it basically is a filth heap, but it's because humans fucked it up. I mean, you can only be so angry at trash when you remember that you made it.
I thought you were gonna say, you can only be so angry at trash when you remember that you are trash.
Well, this too.
Yeah, I guess basic plot stuff on the show. Earth is, shitty, so all the rich people made colonies in space.
The 1%ers? Ooh, It's like, what's that Matt Damon movie where
Elysium.
all the 1%... Yeah.
Yeah, it's like that, but maybe each country gets an Elysium. And then,
yes.
Then they have, but of course they don't want to ruin their nice colonies, so when they're having the Gundam fights to determine who rules the entire, which that's kind of dumb. It's like, we're going to use violence to determine who's going to run the entire government for the entire human race.
I didn't think the violence aspect was dumb. I thought the giant robots fighting was dumb.
Yeah, well,
to determine that, but... I was also a little bit confused, because at one point they were like, whoever is the last man standing gets to be the ruler of all of space forever. And then later on they're like, we do this every 4 years. And I was like, so is it a presidential race? Or, like, and like, some of these people that are fighting in the robots don't really seem like leadership material. In fact, they seem pretty stupid and arrogant and not good at all. Why would you want them to be the leader, besides they're easily manipulated, which is addressed in the show?
I like how they purposely made the American Gundam guy just like a boxer and like really macho, and
they treated him really respectfully though at the end, where they were like, "You're a good guy." I was like, I'm surprised by this.
Yeah. But yeah, and then I was gonna say, but so they don't want to have the big mech battles on their fancy colonies, so they just send them down to Earth to like fuck up Earth a lot more in their Gundam fights.
Which makes all the 99%ers really resentful of the fact that they live on a giant trash heap. Which is really sad.
Yeah, so that was a decent idea. There's something I was gonna say about after the second episode, each episode is like introduced by this random guy in a vest.
Yeah,
he's
really
speaking
weird.
Well, I was listening to the dubs, so the first episode he like says a sentence in French, and then he's like, "Oh, pardon me," and then he speaks in English, and he's like,
in the sub, he says the first little bit in English, but like broken English because it's 1994. And I thought he was so weird because he shows up just in time to explain what's happening right after you learn what's happening in episode 1.
Yeah, it felt a little unnecessary. That's kind of why I got the hint that it was for a younger audience.
Yeah, I just kind of figured it was kind of an homage back to like boxing fights and stuff like that. Kind of like the announcer telling us what's going on. That was kind of how I took it.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea. So yeah, the first episode he fights the Italian guy. Second episode he fights the American guy. Third episode he fights, or he's supposed to fight the Chinese guy. And the Chinese Gundam is pretty cool. Like they designed it kind of with that old school Chinese armor and dragons and shit on it.
I will say that overall, like, the mechs they're what I expected because they're Gundams, but that's kind of how, when somebody says mech, that's how I visualize them initially anyway, is as the Gundam style, so I didn't mind the design.
Yeah, I mean, Gundams are like, when people say a mecha anime,
Yeah.
you think of Gundam because there's so much in Gundam. Like, Gundam wasn't the first mecha anime.
No, but it's the most
it's
well-known, right?
Well, yeah, and it started, well, I mean, I'll get a little nerdy here. There's like subgenres of mech anime. So
Yeah,
there's
of
like
course.
some of the first one, I can't remember the name, but like the first one was technically like a super robot mech anime. And that's where the mechs are like, you know, huge, like Evangelion-sized ones, or even like spaceship-sized mechs.
Yeah.
But then Gundam were the first ones that were like, I mean, I could be misquoting this, but Gundam like started the real robot genre of mech, where that's where the mechs were a bit smaller and like they weren't, you know, indestructible ultimate weapons.
Yeah.
Right.
So, yeah. So like Evangelion is more of like a super robot mech anime, and like whereas like Code Geass and Gundam are like real robot mech anime, because like the mechs aren't, like, you know, they get trashed a lot and they're a bit smaller.
Yeah. No,
they're more as like military weapons and less as like super weapons.
They're not like building size, they're like house sized.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's like some history on mech anime for you.
So stepping off of that, can we step into just talking about history of anime? Throughout history, there's lots of anime, there's lots of transformation sequences. Can we talk about the transformation sequence for a minute? Because it took me until about episode 3 to be like, oh my god, this is exactly like Sailor Moon, but with robots.
And tight, weird bondage thing.
Yeah,
what?
I thought it was latex. So when they get into the robots, they put on their fancy robot wearing suit. It's kind of weird. When they're in their mechs, they're actually in sort of like a little room where they are able to move freely, and then the mech kind of mirrors the image of their body moves. But in order for the mech to know how to do that, they have to wear their super awesome skin-tight outfits. And what's a super awesome skin-tight outfit without a transformation sequence? It's boring.
Including a butt shot, though.
Including a gratuitous butt shot, which was kind of beautiful. So it's like he's wearing like black latex paint.
Oh god.
But like it seems like it's painful for him to get in the suit, because as like these rings come down and he like is all like transform or whatever he says, I forget what he says.
Like Danny Phantom?
No.
No, it's like
disappointed.
Whatever the Japanese he yells as he's getting ready to like go into his mech, he yells that, and the rings come down and this like latex sheet kind of surrounds him in a circle.
Okay.
And he twists in it to put the suit on. But
I thought the ring like twists around him.
Maybe I almost got the feeling that they're like twisting in opposite directions.
You know, the point is the ring twists around him, and then he's like, yeah.
He makes like pain noises.
Yes.
Why?
And then he's in his outfit.
That poor kid.
Yeah, but it's kind of like Sailor Moon being all like serene and pretty as she transforms. You gotta have some sort of expression, and why not go for pain?
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. The transfer is interesting, but like the character, he was just kind of like always super serious and angry and brooding. So like him getting,
that's why he was in pain.
I just imagine like him getting in the mecha, just like, oh, I'm gonna let this tight suit fuel my anger.
Yeah. Do we want to talk about the main character for a minute and what he's like?
Sure. I feel like I didn't get a lot of him in like the 3 episodes.
Well, and that's the part that I'm like, he seems very one note. Like all the characters seem pretty one note, but he in particular is very like brooding anti-hero. That's it. That's all you get. That's all he is. He's looking for his brother, apparently. Have you seen this man? Well,
he keeps
sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, he keeps asking people, it's like showing them this kind of ripped up picture of this guy who he thought was his dad. And he's like, have you seen this man? Like, as he's beating his opponents in the mech fights. Have you seen this man?
Does he really?
As he's beating them, he stops and pauses and asks. Because he's considerate.
Not the right time, kid. No,
but that's how it goes in this world.
Well, I guess the best time to get. Maybe he's like It's like he's trying to interrogate them.
Kind of.
I'll beat you up and then ask you about it.
Definitely, the first episode is him trying to interrogate the first dude.
Mm.
And it's kind of like complexified by the police being all angry that the mech battle is happening in their city.
Oh.
But like his entire intention is just to question each mech person if they've seen this person in this photo. And every time everyone's like, nope, never seen him before. And sometimes he then destroys the person. Other times he's like, you're good with me. Go have fun, pal, and walks away. It's kind of weird.
Yep.
I don't know. Like I said, I wasn't expecting a lot from this anime, and it didn't really deliver a lot, but wasn't expecting anything.
It fulfilled your expectation.
It wasn't a total trash fire.
Yeah. Like,
well, that's a positive.
Well, and like I really do think if you're into just watching mechs beat the shit out of one another, and like you don't mind episodic shows.
It does have a very like retro soundtrack, so that kind of has some charm.
Oh, I kind of like the soundtrack, just because it was so like
90s
retro anime. Like
I like that.
Like I want to say this is vintage almost. It
has charm.
Yeah,
that's a good way.
And like I don't mind the character designs visually, although I wish they were a bit more complex as like people. But I mean, like I said, it's episodic episodes, so they don't really need to be that complex. It's kind of like a sitcom almost.
Yeah, I mean, I could kind of tell, like, obviously this isn't one of the flagship Gundam shows.
No.
I feel like they kind of knew that as they were making it.
Yeah.
It's like, let's make a show, it'll be entertaining for, people who just want to see mechs fight, or kids will think it's awesome, we'll be able to sell some good model kits.
That's almost what it feels like, is they're just like, let's just make a fun Gundam show for a while that...
For the toys.
For the toys, and for the kids.
Like everything in the 90s, basically.
For the kids.
And just the Gundam fans.
And these days. Yeah, it definitely, like I said, it doesn't have that same political intensity that I've seen in other Gundam shows.
Which is probably,
But
I do want to check out some Gundam sometime.
Some decent Gundam.
Well,
I'll probably start with, like, the newest one, which is Iron-Blooded Orphans, which is still going. I heard that one's good.
Yeah. I know Gundam Wing is quite popular with the folks I know that like Gundam, but once again, they're more political dramas in some levels, right? Versus robots punching one another in a boxing ring.
It's political drama.
I have found that with Gundam, it seems to be like there's two different spectrums of it.
Yeah. I mean, like, look at SD Gundam. Just dumb, right?
Oh god.
Hey, you know what else is political mech?
What
Code Geass.
Code Geass. But that one's so
I think
good.
that one's like more political than Gundam.
Yeah,
probably
more so.
So you aren't gonna watch any more of this?
I don't think I'm gonna watch any more, but I can't say that this is necessarily like it's not horrible. It's just it wasn't going to be my thing from the beginning, and I do really like the vintage appeal of it, like the retro style. I just don't want to watch it anymore. I'm gonna go watch something different.
Well, I'm glad I didn't pull a Veda on you.
Yeah, I'm glad too. What about you, Liam? Are you gonna watch anymore?
I'm so offended.
No, I'm not.
You can't be offended when you pick
fine.
horrible things.
I guess this isn't, like, just got me that one step closer to finally watching some Gundam.
It'll happen
sometime
one day.
Between, like, watching anime for this school and catching up with Konosuba and stuff. But
yeah, that's definitely
that's how the weeb life goes.
Weeb.
All about managing your time.
So I thought Leah was the one who picked all the bad shows. When
Leah
did it become me?
I was, and then you.
Yeah, you showed up and you were like, "Step aside, Leah. Let me show you how it's really done."
Yeah, I mean, Leah was like the first one because she did School Days.
And Bobo.
And that's a meme. Like a meme among us is just the School Days episode.
Yeah, that's true.
And then I don't know, I think my worst one is like the 009-1 probably.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. Which I would argue that's still probably my we can talk about it more some other time.
I think Veda's worst ones were ones I didn't get to watch, so I don't know, it's Becca's call.
You're lucky.
We'll talk about that.
Yeah, we'll get to that. On
At a
that
later
note,
date.
Wait, who picked that like emo sexy vampire one? Oh, Diabolic
I did.
Lovers.
Becca.
Such a good choice.
Of course, it was Becca who picked Diabolic Lovers.
I
Yeah.
love vampires. What can I say?
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, on the note of talking about things we've watched and what we've thought of them, we will not be drawing marbles this week because something special's coming next week.
We're finally opening our first cat cafe.
Oh, I wish.
That is happening.
You
That is
have
happening,
to
but
you
it's
have
not
to get
us.
at least you have to get at least a 75 on this prepared anime quiz at the door to get let in because
Yeah,
it's a cafe
it's
only for
exclusive.
weebs.
Yes, and cats.
And you also have to know the password to get in. And I'll tell you here first, so listeners of the podcast can get in. The password is Asuka Best Grill.
Oh god.
Should have known.
Yeah. Yeah, you
We're
can
not
come
actually opening a cat cafe.
in. No, we totally are. We
Anyone
are,
who
Becca.
gets the answer wrong, a trapdoor will open and they'll just like fall into a dumpster.
They'll fall into a pit where they get to watch everyone else pet the cats. But they're not allowed to.
That's so cool.
And they have to watch Boku no Pico for
Oh
sure.
god, maybe not Boku no Pico. No, don't go that far.
No, they
How
have to
about a
watch.
mix of all our worst
Cyclone
hits?
Quasar then.
Oh,
Although some people might like that.
Yeah, I was
Purposely
like,
be put
You
in
gotta
Careful,
pick
Leah.
something like truly awful.
I think a mix of all our worst hits is probably the truest punishment.
all
of
at
them all.
once.
Mm.
Yeah,
All in English,
once
if
on
possible.
Ugh.
English.
Okay,
and
but really
Japanese.
though.
Yes, but really,
Tune
we have
in.
a special episode next week.
Mhm.
It's probably going to be pretty alright. If you're listening closely, you might have noticed this is episode 51.
It's
which
our
means
anniversary.
Next week will be episode 52.
Oh, I see what you did there. Anime anniversary.
Anniversary?
Anniversary.
Oh my gosh, Liam, what was it that you said earlier?
Uh,
Liam like posted a video of some like cute
Oh.
chibi anime girl like
well,
Eating
yeah.
like a like
Well,
sound.
okay,
He
so
Deisu
Let
I
him say it.
wasn't-
Let him say it. Let him say
Yeah,
it.
so I
hold
came-
on, I wasn't finished.
Oh.
My phone, like even when I closed out of the chat, she was still making that sound. So Liam,
Oh yeah, so
Liam.
then I said to her, or you described that, and I was like, haha, I guess I destroyed your phone. But the thing is, the name of the page, like, 'cause that video came from an anime meme page called Anime Destroyed My Life.
Oh.
I
But it
assumed
was
that
so
genius.
you shouldn't have told us that.
You
Liam.
should-
Yeah.
We thought
you.
you
Yeah,
had that
because I was like,
Liam.
wow, yeah, I wasn't expecting that much of a response from that.
We would have worshipped
Well,
you.
If you look at
We-
the chat, if you look at the chat when you're like on a computer, it shows you the name of the page. But I think when you look at it on a phone, it just shows you the video.
Yeah. It was on mobile.
Mhm.
Yeah, and it's just
Yeah.
like this
But
girl
anyway-
chewing, but someone like dubbed it over with their own mouth noises, and it's like extra squishy sounding. So.
I didn't watch it because I was at work and I didn't want my phone to be chomping at me for the rest of the day.
you never know with those
Awkward.
memes. You might just accidentally press something, and then your phone's going like Oni-chan,
Or it's like
Oni-chan.
the loudest orgasm ever or something.
Oh.
I don't want to get
Squealing.
fired. Punks.
Yeah, the
Well-
other day I was trying to finish up Keijo at school, and I was like, I had to make sure I was like sitting in a corner so no one would like see the screen. I felt like
I've done that
such a
before.
I really wanted you to end that sentence with so no one would see my boner. But
I felt like such a creepy
He's trying to keep some things
otaku
private, Becca.
guy, just the art of trying to watch Keijo in public, man. I hope
Some people are
Mackenzie
just,
hears
like-
this.
Just like bear it all. They're just like, I don't care. I've seen people watch weird stuff in public. Good for them.
yeah. Like 9 times out of 10 somebody's probably watching porn in your close vicinity.
Probably.
Yeah.
Or reading it.
I'm
or
watching
something.
porn right now.
Multitasking.
I'm making a porn right now. No, I'm not.
Oh.
Oh.
I thought you were gonna
What?
say
That's
something
quite the
cool
task.
like I'm making cookies right now, but
No, I never make cookies.
oh, one thing I forgot to mention with the Gundam Mobile G Fighter is like in the first episode he's getting interrogated by the police.
Oh,
And the
yeah,
inspector's
fuck.
like interrogation method, he's like, "Boy, you must be hungry, eh?" And he like
Pulls
puts
out
a pizza
piping
on the
hot
table
pizza.
and then just like shoves his face into the pizza and rubs it around. And I was like, "Hey, that's not that bad a torture method."
Well,
Now I kind of
at the
want
end-
pizza.
And then at the
That
end,
would kind of work, though.
when the police officer's like, "I've learned respect for you," he like tosses the guy a package, and he's like, "That's the pizza I promised you."
That's an A+ cop. Yeah, I love
I
it.
forgot about that because as it was happening, I was like, "This seems counterproductive."
It's like I've got my own special brand of good cop, bad cop.
Pizza or
Pizza
no
face.
pizza?
It's like once I'm done like shoving his face in the pizza, then you come in and like cheer him up a bit, okay?
Tell him it's okay. He can eat what's
Tell
left
him he
of the
can have
pizza.
the pizza.
Oh my goodness.
Oh,
Anyway.
we should wrap it up.
Yes.
Ooh, does someone want to do social media plug? I think.
We're on
Fucked it up
Facebook.
enough.
Yeah.
So
We're on
if any of you
iTunes.
use my anime list, I made us a club on my anime list. If you want to do that, you can
Also,
start.
Liam, I
Wow.
made us one a long ass time ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I just don't
Oh.
know where it went.
Okay.
Oh, dear.
Well,
I ate it.
if you ever find that, let us know. The one I made is called For Weebs, that anime podcast.
Yeah.
I don't know what yours is called.
And
Leah,
4 Weebs
but-
is one word.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's the number 4 and
number
then
4.
Weebs.
Yeah.
All
Sorry,
together.
Leah, I didn't know that. Or I
That's
forgotten that
okay.
you made
It was
one.
a very, very long time ago. Before we all even had Mal.
Yeah.
If any listeners have Mal and they want to join that club, feel free to.
or send us friends requests or anything. We're all on Mal.
Yeah,
All
my
of us.
profile is Asuka Best Grill. No surprises there.
Yeah.
All one word, no caps.
Cool.
Grill has one L, not two. Not like a barbecue.
I found it, Liam. We'll talk about it after.
We've got 2 clubs. Join them both.
One's for the memes, one's for the serious talk. Really kidding,
Perfect.
they're all for the memes.
Just add brackets to one of them, just as like memes only.
Memes only. Shit posts only, please.
Oh, okay. No, we'll have 4 weebs shit posting and 4 weebs serious posting.
And then
Yeah.
4 weebs meme posting.
The
No,
shit posting is
memes
the
are
memes.
We're gonna need more clubs.
Oh boy.
But guys, I gotta pee, so.
Oh,
And then we'll have one
Alright.
4
Okay,
weebs
we'll-
speed dating.
We'll continue this next week. How about
Yes.
we'll talk about
Okay.
more shit posts.
We'll list off
then.
all of our clubs. So yes, we're on Facebook, we're on iTunes, we're on Podbean, we're on my anime list. Need any of the links? They're in the little description thing that came with your podcast. Probably, maybe, I don't know.
Yes, they are.
Definitely on Podbean though. Yeah.
Yeah, there's also like a couple videos on YouTube.
Oh yeah, we're on YouTube now. Like actually,
Slowly working on it.
yeah.
Working on it.
Working on it.
It's really
I
our
promise.
second passion.
Okay, guys.
Okay.
Leah,
Konbanwa.
Seriously.
All right.
bye.
Good night,
Bye,
listeners.
everyone.
Veda, do the gurgly noise.
Just gonna say that.
Oh god. Okay, like the wow, wow, wow. That one.
Yeah,
Yeah, that one.
Perfect.
Yeah. Okay.